So Aisha won for a couple reasons. And winning is a big deal. I mean, she competed against 800 other students, just so you know the number. And she was number 1 out of 800. That's pretty amazing. And you know, she won money. And the reasons she won were a couple. One, she actually knew everything about her business. She knew it so well that she never looked at her slides. When she gave her presentation to the judges, her slides were moving and she was talking to them, never looking at them. And she was telling the story. So they were, you could see it in their faces, they're all like wrapped in her story. And it was presented in a way that was exciting, interesting, heartwarming, because taking care of dogs is kind of a neat thing. And the business model was unique. Using people in the apartments to be kind of her employees, so it made it easy to go out and recruit people to be in the company. And then having the apartments actually market her services as what they offer for people to come to get to her apartment, to rent space in the apartment. Those two things made it really unique. Because walking dogs is walking dogs, so making a product or a business that's unique out of something that's standard is very appealing to an investor. So let's just pretend that she does this business and she gets her community up and running and she's walking dogs and she goes to another apartment community, and let's just say in Washington she has 50 communities. And out of every community, she showed her in her numbers that she makes around, I think it was $3,500 of profit a year for each one. That's her profit, in cash in her pocket. So let's just say she had 30 of them. So that's $100,000 of profit. So that's money she's earning for each city, let's say. And she now says, I could either take that money and just keep putting money in the bank, or I could sell it to somebody else. So those are kind of the choices you have when you're an entrepreneur. So what would someone pay for that business? And what's the value of a dog walking service? So those are the things you think about as an owner. The value to somebody else might be greater than just the cash. So let's just say, what other products would someone want to sell to all these apartment communities? Because now she's got real customers, and she has a pipeline into them. So anybody have an idea what?
Dog care.
Dog care products. So if she could sell the business to Alpo or some large company and say, wow, look at all these dogs you have, or dog owners. You can sell a product. Good idea. Anybody else have an idea? What do people in apartments buy versus people who live in houses, or anything different? Cats. Cats?
Yeah.
So she could sell animals? The business could?
No.
Nah. Everybody buys insurance, don't they? Remember, she's got a relationship with every one of these customers. They pay her money every week. I'm just giving ideas. This is where businesses get extra value and they sell for more money than the cash flow. Because someone who could buy it, it's called a strategic sale, and show that, wow, here's all these customers built in, I have a relationship with them, I collect money from them every week, I take care of their dogs or cats, and they like me, it's good service, I could tell them I'm going to sell X and they'll buy it from me. Because for me to reach them, all I have to do is talk to each one of my sales reps, which live in the community, and say, here's a new product, go sell it. So that's what a strategic person would do, or an entrepreneur would do. They'd sell it. So if let's say she's making $100,000 a year, and I'm a company and says, I'd like to get to those customers, and I'll be able to sell my product to every one of them, and instead of paying you $100,000, it's worth 5 times that to me. I'll pay $500,000 to buy your business, Aisha. So she could walk away theoretically with $500,000.
Plus what she's saying.
Plus all the money she has in the bank. And someone would say, that's a great deal for me buying it, because now I have all these customers. Because they love puppy love. That was the name of her business. Doesn't that sound exciting?
The big thing comes to is, what if the customers like her in the business?
What if the customers like what?
Like her in the business.
Well, they don't really know her. They know each of the people in the community. Because Aisha kind of sets them up that she's behind the scenes, which is really smart. Then it's not her. It's the company and the connection to the customers. All right, so let's say Aisha gets $500,000. What would she do with the money?
Spend it or reinvest it in a large.
Okay, those are all good things. So here's what I do, just to give you an idea. When I sell one of my businesses, I take the money I have and I pay my taxes first. Because if you take your money and put it somewhere else, and then you have to pay your taxes, it's always hard to take it out. So whatever I think my taxes are going to be, I take that money and open up a separate account that I never touch. So when I have to pay my taxes next year, it's all there, ready to go. It doesn't feel like it's going to cost me a lot of money. Second thing I do is I set out and say, I want to reward myself and buy something fun. So I actually set out and say, gee, if I got $500,000, I want to take 10,000 of it and buy something fun. Because why else get the big payoff unless you're going to do something fun?
Vacation.
But you have to know exactly what you're going to spend, because if you take and say, I'm going to take off for 6 months and just have a good time, probably spend it all. So it's always good to have a plan as to how much you won or you got for selling the business and how much you're going to set aside for fun, and then have fun. Then you say, how much am I going to set aside to do what's next? Because now I sold the business, I don't have a salary. I'm not employed. If I want to live off that money, that's not going to last me for as long as I need money for it. Because I'm now, let's say I'm 35 years old and I'm going to need 40 years worth of income. So I've got to think about either I'm going to go work for somebody else or start a new business. Does that make sense? So if you start a new business, you need cash. Because you have to earn, you have to live on money, and plus you have to buy new things. So coming up with a new business is not easy. Look how long Aisha took before she got to Puppy Love. Does anybody remember her first business? It was not Puppy Love. What was it?
I think it was a
No, it wasn't hair.
Oh,
No, it was, she had these, remember she had scarves, she was buying stuff wholesale and selling it retail?
Mm-hmm.
And she made
You
money
were
from
one
it.
of her first customers buying a scarf.
Right, I bought a $5 scarf. I still have the scarf. So that happens. When you go to start a new business, you may have an idea, and you start writing checks out and hiring people, and all of a sudden you say, I don't like this business. It's a mistake. So you actually will burn through some money before you may find another business that works. So you have to have a plan about how much money you want to set aside to do that. Because if you don't, then you run out of money, you can't start a business. Without your own startup money, it's impossible in the United States to start a business. You have to have your own money, because people won't give you money unless you have what they call skin in the game. Because if you don't have any money in it, you can walk away and say, I don't like this, I'm going to do something else. This person who invested with you, they're stuck with nothing. So if anybody's going to invest in any business you have, they like to know that you have something at risk as well.
They want some security knowing that you are experienced, knowing what you're running.
Not just experience, but also that you have something at risk. Because that gives them security that you're not going to walk away from it and just lose all your money. Because I'm going to invest with you. That happens all the time. Happens. Everybody needs investors. You can't do it all by yourself if you want to grow a business. Even Bill Gates, when he started Microsoft, he did it with his money in the beginning, but it's not his money now. He went public and raised capital from people who wanted to buy the stock. Same with Apple. He started that with his own business, his own money, and then he brought in other investors. So other investors always want to make sure that you're at risk as well.